Decided to restart this live stream because I had no idea what I was talking about. Well, I stammered a bit, and sometimes when I stammer in live streams or I make a fool of myself or I say such ridiculous things, I cut it and I restart. Yeah, there are times where I've done it so many times. So, yeah, I hope you're all doing well. So, I'm going to talk about some stuff, including my health. So, I'm going to be eating as well. So, I have a ham sandwich over here. It's delicious. It does not look so appetizing, because I've been pinching from here. Over the past few years, I changed my eating habits. So now I pinch my sandwich and I eat it for some reason instead of eating it normally. Sometimes I eat it normally, but now I'm just pinching it up. Anyways, I supposed to live stream. I wanted to live stream last week, but then I wanted to wait this week and just make sure everything, uh, just to make sure um, on some facts on my health. So still have those problems with those lumps on the ears, in the ears, still have that dark spot on my toe. It's like a blood stain on the toe, a very small little two dots connected together. And from what else I've noticed, still have that dark spot on my chest. I'm trying to remember all the problems, still have my enlarging lymph nodes. Yeah, let's just say I have a lot of problems, so many problems. But in my mouth, I also have a couple of problems, but the main problem I'm targeting are two abscess. And these two abscess have caused such problems last year. Last year when it started, it was paining and then it stopped after a week of antibiotics. But trust me, the pain was so bad I couldn't even stand it. It was uncontrollably bad. And then after that last dentist visit, just to like do something else with my teeth, what happened was basically to fill up another pot of my teeth. After that, after we went to the ENT, and the ENT took a look around, he did some stuff, and he did prescribe something for those abscess, but it didn't go away at all. And this year we started, I think it was February or March, or I can't remember, I think February, we started going back to the dentist for this root canal to get rid of the abscess. And the problem is that it did not help. We went like so many times. Um, and last week we went, we went on Monday. They had no power. Then we went on Thursday, and we got basically the dentist drilled in the tooth, and he left it open because he wanted the pus to come out. Pus is still coming out of my abscess. It's coming lower out of the big one. So you have it over here, and below that you get the abscess. So I mean, no, the pus. So you have the abscess on top, one of the abscess, and then below that you have all the pus. It looks kind of like this butter color, but slightly more white. And after that, that was a thing. I had to take an injection because I left the tooth open. So got the injection, and after that, um, Monday, yesterday, we went to the dentist and he sealed it up. So yeah, he sealed it up because he can't do anything. He cannot do anything. I have to now go to a what's the term? I forgot the term. It's a max something fatio something maxillio facio. I can't even remember. I have the term somewhere over here. Yeah, it is. This was a reference I've had last year, beginning of the year, when I went to a dentist nearby, and he just gave me this reference to someone because remember last year I had that small little lump in my mouth. I think if you go back to my previous live streams and videos, you'll find my rants about my health, and there was that small lump on that bottom row of teeth, and that's gone. But then new stuff came. A maxillofacial, an oral surgeon. So I have to go there now. But right now is on holiday. He might come back next week or something, and I don't know. regardless, I have to go there, and that oral surgeon has to basically do something regarding my abscess. Anyways, yeah. So I just want to give you an update on that. Honestly, it's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre time. Now, the truth is, I am just I don't know. I'm kind of tired. Anyways, let's talk about some other things because why should we only talk about this? Why should we only talk about my health? Let's talk about other things which I have no plans for. Um, so what's on the agenda? Don't even know. I was just watching something and then I just forgot what I was watching. I completely forgot what I was watching. I'm trying to remember. Now I remember. All right. So, hmm, turns out there was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I can't remember now, a new season of Velma was released. I complained about Velma when I was annoyed. Okay, maybe I never complained publicly, but I was extremely annoyed when they announced the Velma series back in 2020. I remember that when they announced it. Some of y'all don't remember that. I remember that. And I was upset. I was outraged because this was something this was something so sacred to me because I grew up watching Scooby Doo. I know a lot of you guys also grew up watching had grown up watching Scooby Doo. You know, my favorite Scooby Doo version is not Mystery Incorporated. I never finished watching Mystery Incorporated, but it just was not for me. I kind of liked what they were doing, and I was interested in what they were trying to uncover. There was this big mystery. It was more like a long term story, and I was pretty interested in that. But still, I never really liked the vibe of it. I rather watch my favorite, which is What's New Scooby Doo. I love What's New Scooby Doo. It's such a good Scooby Doo series. And I've also watched a lot of movies growing up. I watched the the Scooby Doo meets the Boo Brothers. I watched The Witch's Ghost. I have the DVD of it. That DVD is like maybe 17, 18, maybe almost my age because we had it since like the 2000s, uh, that decade. We also have. I also watched the Mummy movie. I watched. We own the Mummy movie. We also have um, the Reluctant Werewolf. That's a long movie, like really long, because there's so much of stuff happening. I also watched what other movies? I'm trying to remember the ones we watched growing up. Mm, can't remember all of them. I remember watching the pirate ship one. The pirate ship was so fun. I love the songs in it. The Zombie Island, watched it only once. I watched part two as well, but the first one was pretty awesome. I also watched the Alien one. Remember that Cyber Chase? Trying to remember all the other movies. There's just so many nice Scooby Doo movies, and I know the recent ones a bit weird. I remember a few years ago I was watching on Boomerang. Now they call it Cartoonito, but it was Boomerang. Before it used to be Cartoonito fused with Boomerang. Then they gave Cartoonito up, and then it was just Boomerang. And they would show movies every time, and they would show the same movies. That's the thing about the Boomerang channel. It was only repeats of movies and a bunch of other shows. And as the years uh, wound by, what happened was the shows they used to show was just a bit not not for me. They stopped showing Looney Tunes, the Looney Tunes show. Uh, Maybe at night they would show it, but late at night, Scooby Doo just kind of stopped it. Besides the movies, they had new stuff. I have no issue with the new stuff, but what about the old stuff? I know in other countries on Boomerang they show like old Cartoon Network. cartoons. Yes, yeah, they barely showed old Cartoon Network cartoons, save Mystery Incorporate, Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, and besides that, the Looney Tunes show, and I don't know. I think those were the only things they brought from Cartoon Network that I can remember, and maybe the other Scooby Doo stuff, because we only had like a fancy cable when we moved in this house, back into this house in 2013. And I remember staying late at night and just watching some cartoons. Loved it. But it's really sad that okay, talking about the modern Scooby Doo movies, there was one Scooby Doo movie I did not like. I watched it on Boomerang. I think I was watching some parts of it, and they ruined Fred. They ruined him. They made him into this cheerleader character. No, he's more than that. You can tell that some of the new writers they don't really like men. Sorry, I have to put it out there. Then there's that Scooby Doo, the CGI one from 2020. That movie is not that good. I know they try to do something with like their own cinematic universe, which I don't have a problem with. The problem is it's just not something I would like to start off with, with the cinematic universe. I also have a problem with when they randomly threw this term in, toxic masculinity. Some of y'all, if you watch that Scooby Doo movie, you will know what I'm talking about. There was no need to throw in that term. There was no need to throw in any of those, any woke term. But by them throwing this term in, the writers, how you can kind of get an idea on how they live their lives. I'm just saying because because if I was working on a Scooby Doo show, I wouldn't put my politics in it. I wouldn't throw the terms like chud. Technically, it's not really our term. People use it against us, but I won't use those terms. I won't use soy boy. I won't even use that. I won't use that. Okay, I won't. Anyways, talking about Scooby Doo. Okay, if you look there, right there, see underneath Jurassic Park, that's the reluctant werewolf. That's the movie. I also have The Witch's Ghost, I think, somewhere there, or maybe it's in the lounge. We have such old DVD collections. We even have the VHS collections, not of Scooby Doo, but other cartoons and movies. I need to give a good look at them because the thing about VHS is that it's such a rare thing now. And so many people are talking about, all those old cassettes. So we have a lot of them, mostly my parents' shows, like adult stuff. But I do have a couple of cartoons. There's one cassette on a show, on a cartoon, old cartoon called Gabby. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of it, but yeah, we have. I think we also have Betty Boop. I think it's been so long since I looked at the old collection. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, Velma. Velma is just this woke thing, and a lot of people. Yeah, here's the thing about the Velma show. I guarantee you that a lot of the people talking about Velma, I'm not talking about your stereotypical anti-SJW channels or channels that lean close to the right. I'm talking about actual like content creators who are pretty much liberal to progressive. A lot of them, I guarantee you, did not want to talk about Velma, but since it was growing so fierce, the discourse, they had to talk about it. They had to look into it, and yes, they're allowed their opinion, absolutely. But I have a feeling that maybe they wouldn't have talked about it. Maybe, or maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. But it is a woke show. It is woke. And here's the craziest thing. If you guys watch the TV show What's New Scooby Doo, you would find that in those episodes there's such diversity in it that it's so natural, it's so fun, because in What's New Scooby Doo, I remember there were episodes where they would go place to place. Well, basically, I think almost all of the episodes, they would go country to country at times, different places, and they would meet different cultures. Even in the Scooby Doo movies, you know, they met people from different cultures, different backgrounds. That's diversity. They embraced diversity long ago, even during the old cartoons where they used to meet celebrities. they embraced diversity long ago. There was no need to race swap Velma. But then again, in the modern time, we have to always race swap these characters for some stupid reason, you know? And it's really sad because cartoon characters, you don't have to match the race, but ever since 2020 came, apparently you have to match the race now. That's really ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. If you're Asian, you have to match Asian, or black, you have to match black. That doesn't make any sense because it's a cartoon character. You don't need a cat to do a voice for a cat. There are times where you'll have people making the animal sounds too. I'm not joking. You know, um, in this cartoon series, the Tuttle twins, based on the books, um, there's this raccoon, and is voiced by not a raccoon but a man. And Babylon Bee did an interview with him years ago. So all I'm saying is that you can be anything and voice the characters if you just nail the voice correctly. So talking about Velma, another season was accepted, and a lot of people are wondering why. Why is this happening? It's because of ratings, absolutely. And it doesn't matter how negative it is, it doesn't matter. Like even back in the day too, I don't think it really mattered so much. Okay, maybe it did for some shows, but if it made money, I'm sure, yeah, people will want it again. People want stuff again. Ugh, gross. A piece of my hair fell on my sandwich. Well, it's my hair. My hair. So now you have this Velma show it's just wokeness. It's just pure wokeness. And I would say that, from 2021, a lot more people have been paying attention or awoken to what's really happening with shows. Because pre 2021, I guarantee you that, um, if you mentioned wokeness is the reason why you don't want to watch a show, people will be like, "What's that? What are you talking about?" You know. And there were woke elements in movies previously. It's just a lot of people did not care about it as much. And now it's to a point where you can't escape it. And a lot of people have no choice but to look at it for what it is. A lot of people maybe back then could avoid it. Maybe they knew it was there to a light degree or maybe a heavy degree, but they just do not want to look at it. And now they have no choice but to look at it. So yeah, you have this new series that's just woke. And turns out that Netflix, breaking news, by the way, Netflix is making a Scooby Doo show. Yes. And I know it's going to be bad. I know. I know. Like why? Why do they have to do this always? I know they're going to race swap Daphne or something like that. And it's going to be gay. I'm sorry. There's going to be a gay character. Velma. In a recent movie or something, they made Velma have a crush on this woman. Why? Why? They were doing so well, in different shows, giving a different people to love, and they were pretty much male. So why now treat the character like this? And it's also a lot of young writers, the newer writers, who were basically taught only to think politically. And there's nothing wrong with basing stories off your values. It's just you're working with established content and you pushing your politics in. That doesn't work that way, but they're told constantly to push their politics. Look into the recent drama with BattleTech, because right now there's a big problem happening with BattleTech communities. It's going woke. In like these communities, Reddit posts, some woke person just came in, took over the Reddits, took over Discord and stuff like that. Like it's insane. It really is insane how all of this happened. Such a quick amount of time. And that's the thing. It's gonna continue. All this woke stuff is gonna continue because people keep saying it's okay. This is normal. And here's something I want to talk about. When it comes to politics and culture, there's a reason why a lot of people will say, well, it's just normal, isn't it? It's just normal to be pushing all these nonsense, these woke nonsense in cartoons and movies and all this type of stuff. They'll say it's normal because in their worldview, it's normal to them. They grew up with this type of stuff, so now they believe they are this warrior that's gonna fight for social justice. Yet it's just really ridiculous, you know. Razorfist did a good video on the culture of Hollywood back in the day. It turns out there were actually two types of Hollywood, a red Hollywood and a blue Hollywood. And when it comes to Hollywood um, being basically separate based on politics, that sounds unimaginable in today's standards because most things are basically woke. You know, most things are like there's different shades of liberal, in other words, and different shades of leftism. You will barely find conservatives, you know. And that's the thing now. That's the thing. It's like, what's the point of watching one woke movie when another woke movie will say the same thing and they won't do it differently? You know, they'll take something already established, sprinkle in some wokeness, and yeah, take it, eat it. And there's a reason why companies like The Blaze and Daily Wire, they need to be making their own content. I say need because it's important. There's a reason why a company like Angel Studios needs to make good Christian content, because Hollywood is not going to be doing that. Hollywood, they don't like Christianity. Okay, okay. Maybe some of them they wear it a lot as a coat or as a cloak, but most of the time they don't believe in this stuff at all. You know, they don't believe in the stuff at all. They just kind of use it just to wear it around, you know. And that's the weird part of all of it. Anyways, moving on, um, there is a need for companies like that to exist because Hollywood isn't going to give you a space. So do it yourself. Make the movies you want yourself. Uh, basically, you have Angel Studios producing really good Christian content. I'm not talking about the stereotypical 2000s type of preachy content. I'm talking about literal good content, like really good content they're producing, high budget, and that's the beautiful part about all of this is that they're getting things done. They're getting things done, and they're representing the people who were basically over the past few years misrepresented and completely at times underrepresented. So there's that. It's cool to see more people, from the right make starting to get into this art. You know, I know Angel Studios is not a right wing studio, but um, it's religious, it's Christian, so I'm guessing some of them do believe in right wing stuff. Sorry about my chewing. I'm still on this first sandwich. So as I was saying, there's a need for it to happen, and when Razorfist was talking about the Red Hollywood and Blue Hollywood, he spoke about how Red Hollywood kind of just gave up. And it's really sad because if Red Hollywood did not give up, I guarantee you that the culture wars would have been a bit different. You know, imagine that you would have really good movies, from the ground up, started from the ground up based on right wing views. You know, it wouldn't be shameful to vote for a Republican. Because a lot of Hollywood actors and actresses they're ashamed of it, or some of them who aren't, they get blacklisted or they just don't really get treated well at all. You know, that's just the truth about Hollywood. And if things were different back in the day, things would be different now. But there's still a chance for people to make good content. I've also heard Trump is getting is working, well, his team, I'm guessing, is working on a streaming platform. That sounds wonderful because a lot of people who support Trump are fed up with a lot of the mainstream media, a lot of everything basically, that a lot of studios, a lot of people that really, really hate him. I'm not talking about just not really voting for him, I'm talking about complete disdain for this guy. And over and over, the same people who call Trump a divisive man are the ones being divisive themselves. So if he makes a streaming platform, I really hope it's not just your stereotypical, just your stereotypical Hallmark type movies. I know someone that's in relations with this family has worked on the GAC TV network, um, which is basically like Hallmark, but basically more uh, more focused on non wokeness. Well, because all Mark was woke when woke a couple years ago. Okay. Now the thing about Trump having his own streaming service is you'll be able to actually have good stuff on it, like really good stuff, if they know what they're doing. That's the thing I always worry about. Like, can they really pull it off? Because I also worried a bit when it comes to like Daily Wire doing stuff. I'm like, can they really pull it off? And times they really surprise me, but sometimes I'm like, oh no, they're far from the pinpoint. And that's just how I feel at times. Like, can Trump really do it? Like, there's a lot of space for greatness on that streaming platform, but honestly, if it's if it's good, then it's gonna be good. It all depends on the original content. So don't use old content. Don't have like deals with other established stuff. All you have to do is just work with newer stuff, you know, for different age groups, and you will get to the top. All of a sudden, I became some marketer. I'm not a marketer. I just know some stuff. I just know how things kind of work. I'm not a genius, no. But I've been studying a lot of the way people put stuff on their streaming platforms. I've been studying that, and you can really tell what works and what doesn't work. And I really hope he has a good team, because if he doesn't, then everything's gonna suck. All right. So we spoke about Velma and Scooby Doo. What else can we speak about? Hmm. Don't really know. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just gobsmacked. I don't know. Oh, don't even know. Last night I had a problem sleeping. Well, no, I had a problem just laying down on the bed. I was trying to lay down on my bed, and just like my lower area was starting to ache for some reason. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't sit properly. It happens sometimes. I just can't sit properly enough. Like, there's always some kind of aching. Even now, I'm not sitting properly. It's just that it's so uncomfortable, sometimes because I'm so close to the camera. Okay. Um, Anyways, this chair is far better than my previous chair. My previous chair was so uncomfortable that um, I just I just didn't like it. I wish I never chose it, then I wouldn't have really been in this mess of getting a different chair. Of course, you have to replace your chairs once in a while, but my previous chair was flaking, from 2020, started to flake a lot. It was fake leather. So yeah, moving on. what's going on? I don't even know. When it comes to future stuff, future movies coming out, I'm not really interested. I'm not really interested in many of them. I'm tired at times because it's like, wow, what next? Oh, by the way, have y'all seen the Mufasa trailer? I only watched a bit of it and I was like, what the heck is going on? Um, yeah, it's basically a prequel, I think. I don't know. Why are they doing this? Why? Why? It's not an original title. It's a spin-off. Why do they have to do it? The Lion King was so great. If you watch the original Lion King, it is a masterpiece. It's art, it's dancing images, it's beauty. But now, when you look at the CGI stuff, it's none of it. You know, like yes, you can make beautiful things of CGI, but they focus so much on realism. The cartoon, yes, they had some real bodies of animals, but it was so exaggerated at times. It was extremely exaggerated, especially the beginning scene because you think all animals are gonna kneel down for a lion. You think all animals are gonna do that? No, no, in real life they won't do that. But the thing is that it's a cartoon. It was meant to be beautiful, loved, and now it's just a franchise. You know, I know the Marvel movies are pretty good for many people, but I have to be honest, it really changed how Hollywood looks into things because now it's franchise after franchise. Yes, there were franchises in the past, but that's it, like that's it. Franchises were franchises, but it wasn't such a big thing until like the Marvel franchise came in and the Marvel stuff really brought in the cinematic universe style where now everything needs a cinematic universe. Why? Or some kind of extended universe. There's nothing wrong with that, like writing longer stories. It works with Marvel. It does not work with every single freaking thing. Okay? Because a lot of things that's already been established already. So there's no point in just, pushing all these things. Even when it comes to like Lord of the Rings stuff, I know there's going to be another Lord of the Rings movie, but it's not connected to Lord of the Rings. It's like a prequel, and it's going to be woke. Trust me, it's going to be woke. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate, really unfortunate. The Rings of Power was woke, but I bet you that the Ride of the Rohirrim is going to be woke. It's sad because they use a Japanese studio to animate this stuff, and it's coming out this year. So yeah, sorry guys, it's just going to be another a Woking, J.R.R. Woking, not Tolkien. Okay, they really going to disrespect the works of Tolkien yet again. So I watched an interview of some of the writers, and when I hear the word autonomy, giving the character own autonomy, you can easily tell that this is not going to be the type of the type of movie that's fun. Okay, it's going to be a preachy fest. I heard there's also going to be like a bunch of like female warriors, and it's like, what are they doing? And you can tell that a lot of them don't know what they're doing, which is unfortunate. They don't know what they're doing because it's so unfortunate that all they can think of now is just feminism. All they can think of now is all this crap about strong women. They can't stop and think and say, maybe this doesn't make any sense. There is no need to have these type of characters at all because the character that they're making, okay, if you look at the appendix, the appendices, oh no, appendices, sorry, I said appendix. I'm stupid. The appendices of the Return of the King, there's basically a point where something happens in history and and they took this character, this nameless character, and they gave her a name. They didn't do it, I have a feeling, just because, I guess, just because. Um, just because of being nice. It's a bit more than that, you know. Um, and they gave her this name. It doesn't match a good name from Rohan because it's some other name they brought up, some other cultural name they took. And why did they have to give her a name? That's the thing, though. Like, I know they did stuff like that when it came to The Hobbit, but the thing is, with The Hobbit, they were trying to just stretch things up, trying to just make things out of it. But yeah, they have enough time to make actual good art, but I'm not seeing that. Oh, sorry about that sound. Anytime a piece of food gets stuck in my tooth, I have to like expand my cheeks just to kind of push it out. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Lord of the Rings super fans and fans because they're not going to be eating well for a while. Even Narnia fans, I'm sorry to you Narnia fans out there. I don't think Greta Gerwig is going to give you your really good Narnia series. No, it's going to be a bunch of like it's going to be like Barbie, maybe close to Barbie. That's so unfortunate. All of these fun um fun stories are being turned into weird stuff. Even with recently they made a Willy Wonka movie. Why do they need to do it? I don't even know. Okay. Once again, another cash grab. It's not just a cash grab, it's just that they're playing off with a lot of old IPs too, because it's just safe. It's extremely safe. And the thing is that the only way other companies will start making things is if things have already established audiences and if they're unafraid. Right now, a lot of companies are afraid. They don't want to lose money. It is a time of losing money. They don't want to make a big mistake, pouring so much into something that they can see might not win the race. They want something already established. That's why you're getting a that's why you're getting a Harry Potter reboot, but it's going to be like a series. The movies are okay, but I hope the series is a bit better. Disney is just going to continue making a lot of stuff. I don't even know what's going to happen with Snow White. Turns out that there are some mixed opinions when it comes to the test screenings of Snow White. Some love it, some hate it. It's just a mixture of that, and only when it comes out, then people are going to talk about it. And the thing is that it's coming out next year, which I wonder if Daily Wire can even break that standard because remember they're competing against Disney just for this. Okay, just for Snow White, they're competing against them, and maybe the other stuff, but mostly Snow White now is like, hey, look at this. We have our own Snow White, but can they really pull it off? I think they can, but it's gonna be a bit expensive, and you can't throw all money all the time. Sometimes you gotta just make sure yours are just good enough. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And you need to understand that sometimes big studios they use bots to push a lot of wacky things. They use bots to even antagonize actual fans. We're living in a dangerous environment now. The fact that studios are willing to kill their own hardcore fans, start arguments with them, that's heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye.